Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, we're going to make some quick and easy card backgrounds using some new dyes from Waffle Flower and some pretty colors of cardstock. Months ago, it seemed like all we had was time. But now everyone is back to work, back to school, and we're really just trying to squeeze in some creative time when we can. So I really want to turn this into a weekly series where I share some quick and easy, clean and simple card inspiration. If some quick and easy card making inspiration sounds good to you on a weekly basis, be sure to hit that like button down below, let me know in the comments, and subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified every time I have a new video available. But for now, let's jump right into some fun, quick and easy card backgrounds. There are 3 different new die sets from Waffle Flower that really make it easy to create some stunning but quick and easy backgrounds. Whenever I'm creating die cut backgrounds, I grab the A2 panels that I cut and leave on my desk, and I'll link down in the YouTube description box below to another video where I describe that. I also really love using the Waffle Flower Cloud Pocket dies because they have a pocket in the front that I keep the die set in on a magnet board, and then in the back there's a whole other pocket that you can put the die cuts in. So I am just going to put all these die cut diamonds in the back there, and the next time I create with them, I already have them die cut and ready to go. So let's get started making some cards. First up, let's take a look at the Skinny Stripes die. The Waffle Flower Skinny Stripes die cuts out A2 skinny stripes in vertical and then also horizontal format. So I just cut a whole bunch of both of the vertical and the horizontal. And I am going to grab a rainbow of them and start applying them down to an A2 white card panel. This second stripe I'm going to use as a guide because I want a little bit of space in between each stripe, but I want it to be the same. So this second stripe, I just put a tiny bit of tape runner on, and then I'm going to lay it down next to the first stripe and just kind of temporarily adhere it down just a little higher up because I want them to all go graduated steps higher and higher until the last one is the shortest one. So this is my actual second stripe, and I'm going to put tape runner on the whole thing, and then I'm going to lay it down right next to my guide marker there, and then just press it down and leave some hanging off the side. Then I'm going to pick up my guide. It is a little sticky right now, but by the end there's hardly any stuck to it, and I'm going to lay it down next to that second one that we've adhered, and again just pull it up just a little bit so it's a little higher than the last one. So I'm going to continue to do this with an entire rainbow of stripes. And like I said, I cut out a whole bunch. So I'm going to put whatever is left in the back of that cloud pocket behind my Skinny Stripes dies and use them next time I create with them. So I know that I've sped this part of the video up, and so maybe it seems like this is not quite a quick and easy card, but honestly, even with figuring out that little guide spacing in between, this took me only about 5 minutes, and I think it's so cute. So I would totally do this again and just recreate this card because it's just so cute and it is quick and easy. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use some nonstick scissors to cut off anything that's hanging off the edge there because I did put tape runner on a lot of those, and that's it. That looks so cute. I love this rainbow. Okay, now I'm just going to finish this off with a simple sentiment from the Safe at Home Sentiment stamp set from Waffle Flower, and I am using some Gina K's Amalgam ink in Obsidian and my Mini Misty to make sure that I can double stamp this to get it really nice and clear and crisp. So keeping this card simple with the cardstock strips and just some plain black stamping with a sentiment makes it a very quick and easy card background. Another great die set from this month's release is the Fall Leaves die, which comes with the outline of the leaves and veins and the base as well. So you can layer up some colorful cardstock or pattern paper to create some really stunning cards very quickly. For this card, I'm going to be using Thermoweb's Ultra Bond adhesive. It's a nice liquid adhesive that has some dry time to it, which means that you can move those veins around on the background leaf there and be able to get them nice and straight so it doesn't dry too quickly. I am just using the nozzle that comes with that glue, and you can get it to come out nice and thin so that you just get a little bit on the edges here. I don't want to get too much so that it squishes all over the place, but it does dry clear if you do get a little bit that comes out. But it's pretty easy to manipulate and get it just a little bit on the edge. You could always wipe off a little with your finger as well. So again, I'm just going to slide that around until it is straight in place on the leaves. And I'm going to finish this up by continuing to put these outlines and veins on top of leaves in different colors. So I have kind of a rainbow going, but I've combined the yellow background with an orange, 2 shades of green, 2 shades of blue, and then I put a pink on the purple. I was really struggling to figure out which color combination to go with this last one. I didn't want to use anything too dark because it seemed like the rest of my colors were pretty almost pastel, and I wanted to stay within that theme. Now I'm going to use another sentiment from the Safe at Home Sentiments stamp set on a piece of Kraft cardstock that I cut out with the classic labels die. That's also from Waffle Flower. I'm really loving this stamp set. It's got a bunch of really great sentiments. A bunch of them are perfect for right now, but there's also some very versatile ones like You Make My Day on there as well. I am going to put some strips of foam adhesive on the back of this circle. I put 3 on there, probably a little overkill. I really wanted to arrange the leaves around the circle. That would have been easier to do if I didn't have that big piece in the middle of the foam tape, because I would be able to tuck some of them further in. So my recommendation, if you're going to do what I do and create this wreath, is to just put some pieces in the center of the circle, giving you lots of wiggle room to move your leaves around. And I'm just going to place this on a 5x5 white note card. So I'm doing a square card this time. So I'm just arranging everything to see how it's going to fit. And when I do that, I kind of realized that I'm missing a big gap here. Like I wanted them a little closer together, but that dark blue was way too dark. So I'll just save that in my cloud pocket and I'll use it another time. So I am using Gina K Designs foam squares. I'm just going to put 1 at the tip of the leaf so that I can still tuck the stem of the leaf underneath that Kraft circle. So I'm just going to do this for every single leaf. This way they are as popped up as the Kraft circle is. So it's not like they're kind of fading into the background, but I have enough room to manipulate them underneath the Kraft. So again, if I had not put so much foam tape on that Kraft square, some of these would have been a little bit easier. You can see that I have to kind of finagle a few of them, but for the most part, having just the end of the leaf popped up does make it easier to tuck it into a little space underneath that Kraft circle there. And I'll just keep doing this, going around and around until I hit this one really was having some trouble. And so I had to almost peel up the foam tape a little bit and then stick it in because I didn't want to cut any of the leaf off. I really wanted it to be on the card. Okay, for this guy, I didn't have a base that was that dark pink. So I just used a piece here that's kind of like the interior piece. And I'm going to adhere it down to a blue leaf that is the same shape. And then I'm going to put that light pink around the outside. I could have just used it like this, but I really wanted this first one to be pink and pink because I'm trying to do the rainbow going around the wreath. So I'm just going to once again use that Ultra Bond just a teeny tiny little bit around the edge and on the veins because you don't want them to peel back, and on the edge of the stem as well. And so now I just need to pop this into place like a puzzle piece inside that center there. You do see a little hint of the blue here and there where I didn't get it perfectly straight, but I honestly kind of like it. It makes it a little bit unique. And now I'm going to pop this last one up on a foam square as well, just at the tip of the leaf one more time. And I am just straightening it out. As you can see, you get a lot of dry time with that thermoweb. This one I really couldn't fit because of the foam tape. So what I had to do was trim off the stem just a tad so that it would fit and sit right in the corner there of the card. This again may seem like it took me a long time because the veins can be a little fussy and are thin, but honestly, because I had everything die cut and ready to go, it was pretty fast. Here's another one that I created in more traditional fall colors on a slimline card, so you just have lots of options here. Last but not least, this month they also released the Nested Diamonds die, and I had so much fun creating patterns with this die. You'll see I combine it with the skinny stripes too to create kind of like a faux argyle. Okay, this one looks like it took me a long time, but really it was more the planning phase that took me a long time. So once you see the card, you can very easily recreate it. It was just me trying to figure out which diamond sizes I wanted and which colors and all of that. So I have the largest of the sizes that I'm using in navy, and I cut out 7 of those. Then I have the next size down in that teal, and I cut out 4 of those, and then the next size down in pink. Then for the other diamonds, I cut out the next size in pink and then in teal. It'll make sense when you see the whole thing, but I'm going to use the skinny stripes to create the lines in between the diamonds. So the main diamond is going in the center. I cut this panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, so its points are at the 2-inch mark. Again, I don't really measure, I just kind of eyeball it, but I do use my mat underneath that's got lines so that I can see exactly where 2 inches is. And then the other lines, I'm just eyeballing to see like a basic margin being exactly the same on both sides. No, I'm not going to take out a ruler to do that. I'm just going to eyeball it. But that's just me. So now I am going to take the lines to go in the other diagonal direction. And again, I'm just using tape runner to adhere them down. And so this does go really quickly. Once you have everything cut out and you have your pattern in mind, then it's just kind of adding tape runner and adhering everything together. Okay, so now we have the basic like middle pattern there, and now we can start working on the next row above and below. So I put one of the diamonds right up there and one right there. And I'm going to use the blues on the left and right of the pink in the middle. And then I'm going to use the pinks on the outsides. So again, it sounds crazy, but you'll see when it's done, it's very, very simple. So it's just creating this crosshatch or like argyle pattern here. And then with these last ones, you only need one because you can cut them and use the other half on the other side. So just use nonstick scissors, and then whoops, kind of hadn't adhered the tips of the diamonds there. So I just had to re-adhere them and put them back down. So, okay, now we have our bottom here, and now we can use that same diamond right up at the top and just cut. And again, make sure that everything is exact to the card because we don't want anything hanging off. I do want to mat this on a different color. So I'm just going to trim off all those things. Just remember to use your nonstick scissors. Even with that, it's kind of sticking a little bit and I have to peel them off. But we're getting here. Now we have just a couple of open spots. So again, I can use one diamond, adhere it, flip it over, cut off the excess, and then use the other side to do the same thing in the open spot there. So just put a little tape runner down, adhere it, flip it over, or even do it this way. Very, very simple. Then I thought I needed a diamond here, but really what goes there is another skinny stripe. So have another skinny stripe in navy. I'm going to put tape runner on the whole thing, and then I'm going to just use the end here and then flip it over, trim off both sides, so that I have the rest of the skinny stripe still has adhesive on it, and I can go and do the other corners. And that's going to kind of complete that whole pattern there. Like I said, this looks like it took me a long time, but honestly, as I was doing it, I was kind of realizing what the pattern was. So if I had maybe sketched it out or had, thought of exactly what I needed and where I needed it, this would have gone a lot more quickly. It was really just gluing things down at this point. So once you have that pattern in place, and you can play around with your patterns before you even start gluing, and then you can kind of decide where you want everything to be. So now I just wanted to figure out which color to mat it on. I had the pink, I had the navy, and I have the teal. So as I'm thinking about that, I decided to draw some faux hand stitching. using a white gel pen on all of the skinny stripes. So I have mentioned before that I am testing out some new white gel pens. I want to be sure that they don't dry out super fast before I share what I'm using. I do like this one that I'm using right now a lot, but I want to be sure that it's going to last because I know I have bought gel pens before, maybe not used them for a couple of weeks, and I go back to them and oh my gosh, they're dried out. Okay, so this colored cardstock that I'm matting it on had one diamond cut out of it, but I'm going to mount this onto a card base so it really doesn't matter, and I thought that would save some paper. So now I am just going to stamp some sentiments. These are tiny little sentiments from that same Safe at Home sentiments die, and I'm going to use this little speech bubble from Waffle Flower's monitor die. That little speech bubble is supposed to go like in the monitor or have somebody in the monitor talking, but I think they look so cute, so I thought I would just cut out all 3 of those tiny sentiments that fit inside that speech bubble. And so one says miss you, one says hello, and one says XOXO. And I'm just putting a little bit of foam tape behind each of them to pop them up because they do kind of just get mixed into all that crazy pattern in the background there, which is so bright and vibrant. So I did want them to stand out enough. And so then I'll just peel off those back protective layers and kind of pop them up. And you'll see, like, I was sort of struggling to see where I was going to have all 3 of them. And so I was able to peel it up, the miss you, and move it a little bit, but that's because I hadn't really pressed it down yet. Just be careful when you're doing that with the Gina K foam tape because it is kind of sticky, so things will not fall off. I am going to use some Waffle Flower enamel dots, just a few on the main corners here. I just really like that as a finishing touch. These are kind of like a light gray, and I thought they worked really well. So that is it. It's not as hard as it looks. It's definitely the more time consuming of the 3 that we have done today, but I really like creating my own patterns, and especially because you can choose your own colors as well. And you could also use pattern paper like I did on this other card. Which one of those new die sets is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to let me know if you would like to see a weekly quick and easy card inspiration video from me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can be notified every time I have a new video available. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. I forgot what I was going to say.